Hello everyone and welcome to the UFRL Austin GP in 2025. It's me, that Trash Raccoon, back again for commentary, and I welcome everyone who is here tonight. So we've got the qualifying up first, and we shall see. It's Tier 3 tonight, seeing as it is Wednesday. And we shall see who comes out of the pits first. Seems to be all quiet on the front so far. Nobody making a move out of the pits. But hopefully we should see some action very shortly. Oh, and we have action. It looks like the Haas of Ziggy, the Sauber of Warrener, and it looks like Widget's coming out, and it looks like Ivy's coming out as well on the McLaren. So we shall see how this goes tonight. Oh, it looks like Cowley's finally joined. He's a little late, but better late than never. Let's see how the lap times compare here tonight. Oh, and it looks like Kezinet has retired from the session, but I think that's due to a qualifying ban that he procured in the last race. But we shall see how the rest of the grid form up tonight. I do apologise if I'm a little bit less energetic than my past races that I've commentated on. I've got a bit of a chest infection, so I will have a bit of a cough, and I'm not, as I said, I'm not going to be as energetic as usual, so I'm going to try and keep it on the down low to try and avoid some coughing fits. But let's go. Let's see how it is tonight. So we have all but 4 cars out so far, if I'm correct. Yep, all but 4 cars. We've got Ziggy in the Haas, and we shall see how he does as he comes around that last corner and he flies down the straight. Let's see how it goes. Oh, getting a caution in Sector 3, potentially someone moving out of the way. Hold on, let's just activate everything here. There we go. I always forget to do that until the very last moment. Excuse me. As I said, chest infection. It's not a lot of fun, as you can tell by the sound of my cough. Oh, but it looks like Ziggy's invalidated his lap time already, which is unfortunate. And we've got Warrener not far behind. Let's see how it goes for Warrener now, as he comes flying down on that straight, and then makes the turn into the other long straight, the DRS train straight, as we like to call it. And it seems like Ivy's retired as well. It seems like Ivy also had a qualifying ban by the looks of it. Oh, and we're getting a caution in Sector 1 here. It seems as if the Williams of someone, or is it Williams? Oh no, it's Bakey. Bakey's going quite slow around there. Is Bakey retiring from the session? No idea. He's just cutting all corners, it seems. Okay. Bit of strange behaviour from Bakey. And Warrener now into the pits. Not yet setting a time. Ziggy's in the pits. And Widget still up top with a 135.7. William in third now with a 1:37.8. We've got, oh my word, it is just fastest lap after fastest lap. We have Shazam with a 1:34 dead, and we've got Cinders, the man himself, with a 1:33.7. Now, from my experiences with these past few races, Cinders has always been an absolute flyer. He's very quick on his feet, so to speak. Excuse me. But yeah, Cinder's very quick thinking, very quick on his feet. He is just a very fast racer all around. Now we've got Doug in fifth with a 1:36. We've got Pops with a 1:36. Pops finally finding his rhythm, it seems, especially after his unlucky race in Austria towards the end of last season. Oh, we've got Cowley. Cowley's finally joined for the qualifying. We now have 50 Gent going around, potentially making his lap here. We've got a caution in sector 2, and it seems like Doug's. It looks like Doug's invalidated his lap there. Is Mrs. Poem going out? Oh no, it doesn't seem so. It seems like Mrs. Poem is staying in the pits. And now we've got Warner back on his outlap. Let's see if he can improve his time. Oh, it seems Kez has left the session, potentially due to network issues, because EA servers are the best, as everyone knows. Oh, it seems like Bakey's retired from the session now. And let's see how the rest get on. So we have Bakey, who's not set a lap time. We have, yeah, I had a feeling it kicked you, Kez. I had a feeling it kicked you. As I say, EA servers, the best of the best. Let's see how the rest of this qualifying goes, as we have 10 minutes to go for qualifying. People are still yet to set their laps, like Ziggy, Owen, Warrener, DD, Cowley, and Iceman. But we shall see, as it's only 7 drivers that have set lap time so far, with Doug being the last one in 7th with a 1:36.8. But we shall see if Doug hopes to improve his time. And that seems to be Pops in sector 3, going very, very slowly into the pits, almost crawling. But Pops now enters the pits. We've now got Ziggy on his outlap. We've got Warner making his way around, and it seems he's got a purple first sector. So we shall see how this goes for Warner now, as we'll watch him for the rest of the lap. There's a lot of drivers currently in the pits, not making their move. Oh, and it seems the driver is going off. Let's have a look. Oh, and that's Warner with the new fastest time of a 1:32.8. Almost a second faster than Cinders. That is absolutely insane. Warner just absolutely decimating the time of Cinder. Guess up the kick. But that is just an absolute decimation. Get that Sauber in Tier 2. I agree. Warner is far too fast for Tier 3. The man just decimates everyone in his way, especially when it comes to lap time. But it seems he has the Mercedes of the Poem behind him. And the Poem now on the outlap. We should start a vote to get moved up after. I do agree with that one. Warner is definitely a very fast driver. He's staying here to help the kick. Well, if Warner does get moved up to Tier 2 at any point during this season, I may have to retire from commentary and jump in to help the kick. Because I did send in my my application for the new season. The Poems have my lap times, and they're not the best, but they definitely could be a lot worse as well. So we shall have to wait and see. Oh, is it not? So it seems like Warner is stuck in Tier 2. It seems. Tier 2, Tier 3. Sorry, Warner's stuck in Tier 3 for the time being. Yeah, that is a good point. And the Poem now making their way through the last few turns now, and it seems like, oh wait, hold on, I'm watching the wrong one here. I'm watching William. Pardon me. But let's hope William can improve his lap time as the Poem on the outlap. Yeah, that is a good point. That is a good point. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I wouldn't be very surprised, given how good of a driver he is. So let's just have a little recap of the times now. We've got Warner in pole with a 132.8. We've got DD with a 133.6. We've got Cinders with a 133.7. So very close between second and third. We've got William in fourth with a 134. We've got Shazam with a 134 dead as well. That is the closest I think I've ever seen between two drivers. Yeah, what's up, Woody? But yeah, it's definitely very close between fourth and fifth. I think that's probably the closest I've ever seen it in this league. We've then got Widget in sixth with a 134.3. We've got Gent with a 134.8. We've got Pops with a 135. Ziggy with a 135.1, and then we've got Doug with a 136.8. And now we're just waiting on the Poem to set their lap. And that's probably not the lap Mrs. Poem was hoping for, with a 136.9. That is definitely not a time I bet she was hoping for. But we have 3 minutes and 40 seconds left to go. We shall see how the last of this qualifying plays out, as everyone probably hoping to get their last laps in within the last 3.5 minutes. So we shall see. I think Mrs. Poem is definitely going to plan on pitting as soon as she can, and then hopefully getting that last lap out. So we now have Widget on his outlap, we've got Doug on his outlap. Oh, and Iceman. I didn't realise Iceman was out. So Iceman with a 133.4. I didn't realise Iceman was out. Yeah, I'm just as shocked as you are, Dave. And a second place quali lap, no doubt, as well. That is absolutely mad from Iceman. It seems to be Mrs. P now going into the pits. We've got Doug on his outlap, Ziggy on his outlap, Jen on his outlap. Excuse me. Oh, this chest infection is this chest infection is not fun. Bro just realised he's in a championship fight and has to call for yeah. I think Iceman has clicked for a second and realised where he is. Oh God. I have no idea, Kez, but he's definitely put himself out there. I'll give him that. And we've got Doug now making his way down the straight, coming out of that corner quite slow, but we'll see if it helps him improve his lap time, potentially giving him more grip. And Kez has lagged out again. Let's watch the McLaren of Doug in these last few corners now as he makes his way around. Let's have a see of how he does. Oh, and Iceman's retired in the last minute. And does he? Ooh, Doug does not improve. That is unfortunate for Doug. Restarting console, right? But yeah. So let's see how Ziggy does as he comes up the big straight, going into the curves now, and it's the last 3 minutes of qualifying. Can anyone hope to improve with the last lap now? Let's see if we get any switch-ups, and we'll see if anyone can dethrone Warner. However, judging by the gap, I don't think that's gonna be the case. Warner has definitely built himself quite a gap between all the other drivers on the grid so far. And it doesn't look like anyone's moving up so far. Doesn't look like there's going to... Oh no, wait, never mind. I stand corrected. Cinders has moved himself up to second place. It looks as if it's going to be a battle between Cinders and Warner. And Didi managing to get himself up back into third. It seems Iceman has been dethroned, and it's a very, very close call between second and third. We've won... Like, my lord, man. And that's Warner with a new fastest lap with a 132.3. Oh my word. That is absolutely insane. Oh, crap. Plug my controller in. So here we have the standings for the race. We will be having a 5-minute break, and then afterwards we will begin with the race. So feel free to grab a drink, head to the toilet, do what you got to do, and we shall see you in about 5 minutes, folks. And there go the lights, and it's the start of the race. And let's see how it all unwinds into turn 1. Oh, and that's close with Cinders and Warren down into turn 1. Oh, and it looks like a Haas is being sent off the track. It looks like the Haas of Ziggy being sent wide into turn 1. And let's see how this all goes now. It looks as if Warner is just absolutely flying. Now let's just get black there. No need for the telemetry, as that'll just overload the screen. That's just more stops. Let's have a look at the tech. Ooh, a lot of hards and mediums here tonight. Let's see if Florida can hold out on those hards. And it looks like at the back of the grid we've got Kez overtaking Bakey and Bakey overtaking Kez. It looks like a hell of a fight between the Sauber and the Red Bull. We've got the McLaren of Ivy not far behind as he goes right on the tail. Oh, it looks like Doug's pulling to the side here. It looks like Doug's like, and that's Doug that's gone off. That's Doug that has gone into the barrier, and looks like he's wrecked his front wing quite a bit. That's not an ideal start for Doug here at the Austin GP. Excuse me. Now let's keep a close look. Oh, and it's Doug that retires from the session on lap 1. That is unfortunate for Doug, as he just loses his rear end into the barrier. Now let's go further up the grid as we're seeing quite a few position changes, and that's a battle between Widget and Iceman. Oh, it looks like they're going 3 cars wide into the turn, and ooh, that is a very close call between the V-Carb and the Alpine. And the Aston Martin out in front as well. Everyone just getting caught in the DRS of each other. And the Alpine managing to stay out front as Iceman tries to avoid the cars around him. As we've got the 2 V-Carbs of Jen and Shazam not far behind. And it looks like the 2 Williams are trying to get their piece in the battle as well. And we've got a battle here between Kez and Ivy. Kez now managing to get in front of Ivy, but Ivy saying no thank you, I want to keep my place. Ivy just keeping his elbows out. And that's Kez going off. Oh, that's quite a few drivers going off. What in the world happened there? And that's Mrs. Cullen going into the pits now, as the rest of the grid make their way through the track. And again, it's a battle between the cars, with Jen overtaking Iceman, now on the tail of Widget. And let's have a look at the top 4 here. Oh, that's Pops with a 3-second time penalty. That's 2 cars with a 3-second time penalty, it seems. Let's have a look at what happened here. Yeah, it's 2 cars with a 3-second time penalty. That is unfortunate for the 2 cars there. It seems to be Shazam and Pops that have the 2 time penalties here. Alright, let's stick it back on tyres. As everyone, well, almost everyone is on 2-lap old tyres. Mrs. Poem having to pit to get some new tyres. I have no idea what happened. It seems like she's gone off track, or maybe just worn the tyres down quite a bit. As we now go on to lap 3, we've got Warner just absolutely sending it through the corners, just keeping that line as tight as possible. Oh, and it's Iceman now with a 3-second time penalty. I have a feeling this is going to be quite the penalty-driven race here tonight. That's Kez with the time penalty. Like clockwork. Sorry, Kez, but you know, it's like commonplace now that you go a race with a penalty. Now let's have a look back here. It seems to be a game of cat and mouse between Cinder and William. Cinder trying his best to keep his elbows out and stop Willie from taking over. And it looks like he manages to build a good gap going up to the hairpin, but there's just one issue, that DRS train. It seems like quite a few cars will be getting into the DRS zone as we go down the straight. And that is a full line of cars just going into the curves now. A lot of them trying to keep it neat and keep it tidy. But will we see any place changes? That is still to come. It seems to be going down towards the further back in the mid-table. It's like Iceman almost lost his rear end there as he manages to stop it from snapping from underneath him. Iceman now with the DRS, but can he catch Shazam going into the turn? And, not quite. Goes down the inside, keeping very close to Shazam. Both drivers with a 3-second time penalty now. Iceman just trying to keep that car on the tracks as best as possible. Let's have a look further up the grid again. We've got William right on the tail of Cinder. And that's another 3-second time penalty for Kez. That's Kez now with 6 seconds on his penalty clock. What is going on with Kez? I know I said the penalties were like clockwork, Kez, but come on. Let's have a look at first and second. 3.5 second gap on DD, and DD has an almost, well, he's just built a 2-second gap on Cinder. However, the gap between Cinder and William is getting smaller and smaller now, up to a 0.4 second gap. But the question is, will William be able to get in that DRS and get Cinder down the straight? He may not have much hope because he's got a V-carb right in his tail. No, it doesn't seem like Willie can catch Cinder in the Ferrari whatsoever. It doesn't matter how hard he tries, Cinder always manages to stay ahead. I've got to give it to Cinder, he's putting up a hell of a fight. Especially since he's on the hards and they don't have as much grip as the mediums. Now let's go a bit further down. We've got Widget with Shazam behind him. There's a 1-second gap between them. Oh, excuse me. Ugh. Iceman now flying down the straight with the DRS. We've got Cowley not far behind, and then we've got Pops also not far behind, and we've got poor Ivy, who didn't have the greatest start to the race, but I mean he's still getting points, so I mean that's something at least. His rear end is just snapping from underneath him. It seems like Ivy's having a hard time controlling his car here, as his rear end seems to be snapping quite a bit and he's just understeering into the corners quite a bit. And it's Ziggy in the Haas who just seems to be all on his lonesome. Oh, and Shazam manages to overtake Widget. But the question is can Shazam hold that position for longer than he hopes to? Because once again, it's quite a close battle between Shazam, Widget, and Iceman. So we shall see if anything changes. That looks very close to a corner cut there from Iceman. Iceman cutting it very close with the track limits there. Now we've got Gent in the V-cab, who's just absolutely... Oh, excuse me. Oh. Right. Anywho, back to the race. Definitely seems as if Warner is just building that gap now 4.5 seconds from the rest of the grid. It definitely seems as if Warner is going to have a comfortable race here in Austin with no one to challenge him this time round. Especially like he did in Austria. We've now got Cinder trying his best to keep it close to Didi with Gent now on his tail. And, oh wait, it seems as if Gent has managed to overtake William. It seems like William's losing a bit of pace here. Or maybe Gent's just a faster driver. So we have quite a few drivers with time penalties now. We've got Shazam with the time penalty, Iceman, Cowley, Pops, Kez, of course, and Baker. Let's just go further up, and it just seems to be a DRS train here, as everyone is just on the tracks chugging along. I have to say, not a lot going on in this race so far, but I sure hope that changes soon, because otherwise I'm going to run out of things to commentate on. And well, I'm pretty sure the last thing you guys want to hear is me repeat myself, because that wouldn't be very fun to you guys as well, and I only try to offer the top-notch commentary if possible. Ooh, Alpine there, swerving out. It looks as if Widget had some trouble controlling his tail end there coming out of the corner, because he just saw him just wrestle with the car there. Seems I was catching up on Pops now. That is very close between Pops and Ivy. But the question is can Ivy catch Pops on the DRS straight? Let's have a look and find out. And that's Bakey with another 3-second time penalty. That's Bakey now with 6 seconds. I don't think that's going to be the case, because Pops also has DRS from his teammate in front. Let's have a look up front now. Oh my word. Warner just absolutely stacking gap, 7.6 seconds. Oh, there seems to be quite a bit going on at the back here. It seems, Iceman's going into the pits. It seems as if he's had enough of the mediums and he's wanting to take some time to readjust and hopefully gain himself a bit more stability, it seems. And we've got Kez now right at the back being overtaken by Mrs. Pullen. However, Mrs. Pullen did have the DRS, so that doesn't make sense that Kez did lose the place, and that's Kez with another 3-second time benefit. Oh, Kez. Kez. That was a very good save by Kez, managing to keep his rear end under control as it just drifts out from underneath him, and he just snaps it back and manages to stop himself from going off track, but it did look very close. Oh, God. Oh, excuse me. I just want to have a look and see what is from leader. 48 seconds between the two teammates. Oh my word. That is just absolutely insane. However, from second place, Florida has an 8.8 second gap, an 8.9 second gap, and it's only building by the second. The gap seems to be going down quite a bit. Not many battles going on here in Austin, but hopefully we start to see some battles soon, and it seems as if that's Kez going into the pit now. Kez now going into the pit, potentially getting himself some... Oh, Kez moving on to the hard tyres. On lap 11 of 28, we have another 17 laps to go. Nice, 16, another 16 laps to go. But it doesn't seem like Warner can get any further than 9 seconds. As it just seems as if every time it feels like he gets close to that 9 seconds, the gap just starts to diminish again. So we only have one DNF this race, and that is from Doug with his very unfortunate start to the race. And it seems like Shazam now has gone into the pits, same with Ivy. So we're seeing some decision changes, and ooh, that's very close from Shazam and Iceman as they go into turn 1. However, Shazam is on the fresher tyres here, so he's going to have a lot more grip than Iceman. And that's Bakey now with 9 seconds. Let's just have a look here. Yeah. Bakey with 9 seconds as well as Kez. Ugh. Excuse me. I'm just dying slightly over here. Let's go back onto the tyres. Seems Shazam and Iceman are battling it out. Oh, and Dee Dee and Cinders. Oh, it looks like Dee Dee and Cinders were battling it out, but it seems like Dee Dee's just going into the pits, as well as Jen, William, and Widget. So we've got a 4-car pit stop, a 5-car pit stop here. As Pops now makes his way into the pits. that's Ziggy now with a 3-second time penalty, but I believe that's now 6 seconds because I believe he had a 3-second time penalty before. But that now moves Ziggy into 4th place as the other drivers now come out of the pits, as Cowley manages to get ahead of Jen, and Widget manages to stay ahead of Ivan. This does not seem like a lucky day for the... This does not seem like a lucky night for the McLaren so far, as they've had one driver retire and the other driver seems to be stuck in 11th place. I know I'm supposed to be commentary, but I'm trying not to talk too much because otherwise, cough and fit, and I don't want to hear you guys hear me die on stream. Oh, it seems to be a battle between the cars, and it looks as if Jen has been sent wide and off of the track. I wonder what happened there. It seems we missed out on a pretty big battle between 8th, 9th and 10th. Well, let's have a look further up the grid as we've got Ziggy, who's still managing to hold 4th so far. He's doing well despite having the Merc and the V-carb on his tail. However, they now have DRS, but can Ziggy defend them? And no, he just lets the Merc go by, as he now has the V-carb right on his tail. Ziggy now stuck in a sandwich between a Merc and a V-carb, with the Haas patty in between. Oh, but it looks as if that was very close between Ziggy and Shazam. That looks like it was very close to contact there, as he's now got the Aston Martin of Iceman right behind him. And it looks as if Iceman's going for the overtake, going into the corner, and Ziggy doing his best not to turn into him. And that's well done from Ziggy there for avoiding contact, because I can imagine that was a pretty tough situation for him. And we've got Ziggy now managing to get back in front of Iceman, holding it down, and it seems as if Iceman's faster out of the corner, and that's a very close contact between Iceman and Ziggy, as Iceman just takes it down the outside. He just manages to get Ziggy to submit that corner. Going further back now, we have Widget, who's in the battle with Cowley, it seems, and maybe that's Jen. Never mind, that's Jen and Cowley. Never mind. However, it's now a DRS train once again, as Ziggy is left with no DRS to escape the situation. However, he manages to hold on to 7th there with Iceman right in front of him, and the Alpine of Widget right behind him. And that's Cowley with another that's Cowley and Shazam with another 3-second time penalty. Warren are now on the 14 old lap hards with an 11.5 gap. What in the world is Warren up to? He is just absolutely decimating the competition tonight. Warren had taken absolutely no prisoners. He's saying, screw the rest of you, I'm gone. It's pretty much being Cartman from South Park. Screw you guys, I'm going home. That was a terrible impression, I know, but you get what I'm trying to say here. And that's Bakey now with a 12-second time penalty. Bakey's just collecting these time penalties to the goddamn Infinity Stones. Paul Hart just can't seem to avoid them. Oh, and that's caution sector 2. It looked as if we were having a bit of trouble there. It looks like Keds is having a bit of trouble having his car under control. As we now go back, it seems like Warren is close to lapping his teammate now. Doesn't seem like they're that far apart. However, if we go further down the grid, we've got quite a collection of cars here that are battling with each other. We've got Widget, we've got Jen, we've got Cal, all battling with each other. And it looks like Jen was going to go for the overtake there, but it got very close to the rear end, and that looks like almost contact. Oh, and that's a battle between the two, and it looks like there was a bit of contact between Widget and Jen. Widget just sticking his elbows out as much as possible, not wanting Jen to get by. But we shall see how it goes down here on the straight, as it's a DRS train, and it seems like Widget's going for Cowley, and he manages to get Cowley on the straight, but can he hold it going into the turn? He can. That is very close between the three cars now. Oh, it looks like Cowley's trying to get him on the inside, but Cowley just cannot get in. Widget is doing some absolutely masterful defending here tonight. Oh, and it seems like we've got more drivers getting penalties. It seems like Kez has got more penalties, and he's now got the Red Bull of Bakey on his rear. Now that was naughty, Kez. You can't be doing that. You can't be blocking people. But it seems like Kez is really trying to keep that place. Ooh, it looks like he just touched his rear wheel a bit. And it just seems like Kez loses it as he tries to go on the attack against Bakey. Oh, it seems like Warren is pitted, and he's now on some fresh mediums. Ooh, he locks it up going into the corner. However, he still has the lead. It's still with a 5-second gap, no less. This is just absolute insanity from Warren here tonight. We've got DD, who is just minding his own business. And then we've got Cinder, who has Shazam right at his tail. We have William, who is also not far behind. We have Iceman, who looks as if he's going to be bricking it in a second, because he's got Cowley, Widget and Jen right behind him. It just seems like Jen is right on the tail of Widget here. He wants to get that place from Widget, but he just doesn't have the speed at the moment. And it doesn't look like he still will, because both Widget and Jen have the DRS going up the main straight. And it's just Iceman leading the mid-table now from 6th place, as William is trying his best to catch up to Shazam, with like half a second gap between them. We've got 10 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. 10 laps to go. Oh, that's Bakey with the fastest lap. Bakey trying to take away the extra point. And that's Warren again in the fastest lap back with a 1:35.6. It seems like the mid-table is having a hell of a time here. They've got quite the group for the party with Widget, Gent and Cowley, as well as Iceman. However, Iceman seems to be off in the distance quite a bit. Oh, and it seems like Gent and Widget are fighting now, and Gent finally managed to get past Widget. I can imagine Widget is not happy right now, especially after he's been defending for so long. And I'll tell you what, he had quite a good defense going. He managed to hold off Gent for quite some time. And that's Bakey with another 3-second time penalty. That's what, 15-second time penalty now? Let's have a look. Yeah, 15 seconds. My word. And that's a 35-second gap between Bakey and Kez. And Gent now getting past everyone as he now gets past Cowley. And Cowley getting close to his rear wheel, it seems. Gent trying his best to defend. Once again, the three of these drivers going absolutely nuts for it. And then we've just got Warner, who is just absolutely flying like he always does. Just absolutely ripping into those S's. Cutting through them like a hot knife through butter. It seems like Kez has been lapped now, which is unfortunate for Kez. Poor Kez trying his best. The difference between the two Saubers is absolutely insane, as Warner locked it up going into that turn. We've got Didi and Cinders with each other now. However, the gap between the two is quite large, with a 2.4 second gap. It says 2.5 seconds now. Excuse me. So we're going to lap 21 now with 7 laps to go. Although knowing Warner, that'll soon turn to 22. Never mind, he's going through the S's. So we've still got a bit of time until it goes to lap 22. Oh, it seems like Kez now. Kez is switching to the softs. It seems like Kez is going to try and go for the fastest lap here. Although knowing Kez's pace, that probably won't be the case. That was an unintentional ram that I just did, wasn't it? Anywho, Ziggy now down in 12th with 4 lap old mediums. Seems to have Poem right behind him. Well, not right behind him, but Poem definitely seems to be trying to close the gap at least. Let's move further up into the mid-table. We've got Iceman. That was a voice crack, please ignore that. We've got Iceman going after Jen, and we've just got William chilling in 5th. I was going to say 4th, but Shazam is in 4th. Excuse me. And then And once again, we've just got Warner absolutely demolishing the lead, as he now gains a 10.7 second gap, but almost quite there with the 11-second gap. As it's now lap 22, soon to be 23, as Warner just absolutely sends it down the straight, and that's again a lock-up from Warner. Warner just seems to be having trouble with the lock-ups. That's one thing I've noticed with his racing. Then we've got Edie in second place. With that gap now going up to almost 11.5. Let's go further back. We've got Gent with Iceman not far behind him. The middle pack looking a bit more broken up now as they manage to gain a bit of a gap. However, Ivy now has managed to catch up to the pack a little bit as he now puts himself into 10th place. Ooh, he almost had Widget there. Going alongside him for a second, but then decided not to. Seems like Ivy's trying not to push the car too hard, but as I say that, he goes in for Widget, and he manages to get the DRS, and he manages to overtake Widget, putting Widget into 10th place. But the thing is now is, can he catch Cowley? Although Cowley has quite a few time penalties, so I can imagine overtaking Cowley wouldn't be too much of an issue for Ivy. And that's Bakey with another time penalty. As I said before, Bakey's collecting these time penalties like Thanos collecting the Infinity Stones, man. Like, come on, Bakey. Bakey just seems to be having a very unfortunate race here in Austin. Oh, and that's Ivy now overtaking Cowley. And Ivy managing to keep it in front, and that looks like contact between Widget and Cowley. Cowley being sent off of the track. Let's just hope Cowley hasn't sustained much damage there. It doesn't look like he's had any damage to his front wing. So I definitely think he got lucky in that department, but it definitely looks like he got a bit of a rear tap from Widget. And it's Ziggy now battling with the Poem. And it definitely looks like the Poem is catching Ziggy right on his tail. But the question is can the Poem keep the distance close enough for Ziggy to potentially lose that position on the straight? And Mrs. Poem manages to keep it, but can she catch Ziggy on the straight? No, it doesn't seem like it. The gap just not quite there. Oh wait, as I say that, Ziggy goes wide. That is potentially giving the Poem the chance to catch up, but it doesn't seem like it. However, the gap now jumping between 0.4 and 0.2. Oh, and it looks like Pops and Cowley are switching over as Pops goes a bit wide, and Poem manages to take over Ziggy. Ziggy, who was in the mid-table a few laps ago, is now in 13th. My, oh my, oh my. We've not had a lot of battles this race, but we've definitely had quite a few place switch-ups and, well, a few bits of drama here and there. Oh, and that looked like a bit of contact between the two teammates. It looks like Pops was going for an overtake, and looks like Cowley just shut the door on him a bit too hard. Definitely looks as if Pops had his wheel clipped a bit there, potentially. Oh no, wait, it's his front wing. His front wing's damaged. Let's just have a look there. Yeah, that's front wing damage for Pops. Seems to be there's going to be a bit of drama in the Williams garage here, as the two teammates, who are 10th and 11th, have collided with each other. Oh, and that's Ivy now with a 3-second time penalty. But didn't Ivy already have a time penalty? Oh no, that's Ivy's first penalty. That's Ivy's first penalty of the race. So the chance of Ivy potentially getting that 7th place has now been dwindled. It's Ivy and Widget now battling each other. And Ivy going into the turn, sending Widget wide. However, it seems as if Ivy really wants that place as he tries to catch Widget, but Widget says no. Widget, again, keeping his elbows out, managing to defend that place from Ivy, but they're coming up to the DRS train straight. And the question is now, can Ivy close the distance enough to get in front of Widget? No, he doesn't decide to go up the inside. That was very close with a 0.2 second gap, but Ivy thinks that it wasn't enough. Two cars now going through the S's and going towards the second DRS train straight. We now have 2 laps to go. Not long left now, and it definitely seems as if Warner has definitely kept this race under his belt. Now Cinders with Didi on his tail. And the question is, can Didi get in front and take second place on the podium? But it definitely seems like Cinder's doing well to keep the gap between the two of them as they now come up to the main straight, and we'll see if that was Cinder wobbling a bit. But it doesn't seem like Didi can close the gap enough to catch him on the straight. There's definitely some drama going on in this race, especially towards the end, as we've got 27 out of 28. Not much longer to go now. And that's Pops with another time penalty. My, oh my. It seems to be time penalty central in these last few moments of the race. But let's have a look at how Warren is doing. Warren is loving it. He's just comfortable. I say that, he locks up again. Warren, you really need to work on your braking, dude. You lock up like nobody's business. It definitely seems like Shazam's just overtaken Bakey, it seems. Let's have a look. Yep, that's Bacon. It's just been lapped and overtaken. And, Bacon losing his rear end, but managing to keep it and avoids going into the barrier there. We are now on the last lap of the race as Warner just absolutely flies down, and Didi manages to catch Cinder on the last lap of the race, no doubt, as well. I can imagine Didi's absolutely chuffed with himself there, catching him on the very last lap of the race. And potentially the biggest surprise of the race is Cinder's done well, to hold second place all throughout this race, and the poor guy's lost it on the last lap. Oh, and it seems like Shazam's disconnected here, which is potentially going to cost Shazam a few places. Maybe not. As we watch Warner now going into the last few turns. Warner now making it to the last turn, and it's Warner that takes the win in Austin. Well done, Warner. You have raced absolutely amazingly here tonight. Oh, but it's Cinders. Cinders manages to get second place back after DD manages to catch him. But let's see if Cinders can keep it going into the last turn, and he does. Cinders managing to reclaim that second spot on the last lap after being overtaken, and DD securing third. William in fourth, Shazam in fifth. Never mind, there's a swap between the two V-cabs, possibly due to the time penalty. And oh my word. Unfortunately, you don't, Shazam, as you had the time penalty, and but that is the rest of the grid finishing, and it's Warner that takes the win in Austin. Well done, Warner. I've not seen that position before for the driver of the day photo. Yeah, I agree with you there, Cinder. He is far too fast for this tier. But well done to Cinder and DD as well. Getting the second and third place, and well done to the two V-cabs for the fifth and sixth positions, as well as Willie, who manages to get it in fourth. There we are. Right, everyone, thank you for joining us here tonight at UFRL. And, well, I'll be commentating next week, seeing as I'm off of work next week. So, without further ado, I will see you all next time. And until then, take care, everyone. See you then.